Hello and welcome back to Arsenal Domination, where if I was feeling poorly before the game, I'm feeling even more poorly after it. A sickening defeat on penalties to Manchester United in the FA Cup. Kind of knew when it went to penalties that we were going to lose, to be honest. It didn't surprise me when we lost. It didn't surprise me when it was Kai Havertz and missed. It looked devoid of confidence. And Arsenal will be ruining the chances today. They'd be ruining the fact that they haven't been active in the transfer market, whereas when it comes to forwards, and it's coming back to haunt them. Yeah, very sad day, and the pressure is now on Mikel Arteta. Let's go through the game really quickly, because I think the first half summed up Arsenal's season again. Slow and ponderous in attack, didn't create a lot, didn't really threaten Manchester United. Manchester United that won't have been in the most confident mood coming into this game. Yes, they got a good result at Anfield last week, but it's one performance. They got a second result today, probably an undeserved one, but Arsenal only had themselves to blame for it being an undeserved victory for United. Arsenal created one real chance in the first half. It was Gabby Martinelli who scored but was offside. Absolutely the correct decision, by the way, from the referee there. And that was the only real noteworthy moment of the first half. Chances wise, obviously there was what looks a serious injury to Gabby Martinelli. That looked like his knee, the same one he did at the World Cup. I think that's the end of his Arsenal career. He needs to be moved on. It could be the end of his career. These knee injuries are recurring and it's just not getting better, and I think that is the end of him at the top level, which is worrying for Arsenal because it's going to be difficult to shift him as a result in the summer. But that's a problem for another day. Second half, much of the same. And then a mistake by Gabriel gives United the lead. He's dispossessed on halfway, United break, and Bruno Fernandes with a clinical finish. Something you just wish the Arsenal players would do at the other end to make it 1-0. And that clicked Arsenal into life. We went from slow to ponderous to quick, fluid, direct. And you just wonder where that's been all season. And that is where it does put the pressure on Mikel Arteta, because it shows it was a choice to be slow and ponderous. Get in some games like Brighton where you had 3 fit forwards and that horrible bug going round, but you might be to try and conserve energy. You've not got it there. But that doesn't excuse other performances. That's a one-off. Arsenal, definitely 100%. Need to play like that more often, and when they do, they'll probably get results more often because they created a load of chances. The turning point probably of the game came with the Darlow sending off. It was a definite sending off. I know he wins a ball, but it was a dangerous, out of control tackle, and he got a second yellow. Correct decision from Arsenal, from the referee there. And Arsenal equalising moments later. Ball came in, not dealt with by the Manchester United goalkeeper or defence, and Gabriel with a lovely piece of technique shoots, deflects off United player, and it's 1-1. Arsenal then, in no particular order, created a whole load of chances. The biggest one, obviously, was the penalty. It was a dive, to be honest, by Kai Havertz, but he wins the penalty off Maguire. Odegaard puts it in the corner, but not with enough power, and the goalkeeper makes a really good save. But even then, after that, Havertz had 2 gilt-edged chances that he's got to score. He misses both. Declan Rice with a header. It's a good save by the goalkeeper, but he shouldn't be able to make the save. And then, Arsenal just couldn't find that way through. United defended well, but the climbs and chimes for a new striker will inevitably grow, and I think everyone agrees that one is needed. I said in the summer I understood why we didn't buy the striker. Isak didn't look like he wanted to move. Gyökeres had one good season. I actually personally believed in Gyökeres at the time, but I can understand why not. What isn't forgivable, though, is giving Mikel Arteta the extra firepower from wide positions, especially given how the season has gone with the injuries and the lack of form to players, or the inconsistent form of players. Trossard hasn't looked the same since that Saudi bid came in, for instance. And again, that just showed today. Game went to extra time. I should just touch on the Saliba elbow from Højlund. He catches him with the elbow. I don't think it's a deliberate swing of the elbow, to be honest. I think it's a foul. United shouldn't be able to break They didn't. Nothing came of it, so it was fine. But I thought the sending off there was harsh if it had been given, because I don't think it was a deliberate swing. I think he's looking to shield and protect the ball, and his arm comes up. But you know, that is by the by. And in extra time, it was the same again. Arsenal creating a better chances. Trossard with the big one, good defending by De Ligt, but Trossard is braver there. He can get on the end of that and score. And it went to penalties. And the second it did, I just felt Arsenal weren't going to. Kai Havertz had looked poor all day. He looked devoid of confidence, and it was him that missed. And it wasn't a surprise when he did miss. United's penalty very good. Arsenal's other penalties very good, but Kai Havertz misses, and Manchester United possibly undeservedly go through, but Arsenal again are their own worst enemies, and this puts real pressure on Mikel Arteta. I still maintain that I think he's a manager capable of winning things, but he can have no complaints if he loses his job. I don't think it'll be tonight. I don't necessarily think he'll lose his job at the end of the season. To be honest, I don't think the board will sack him. I think they will look at the mitigating circumstance and say if this and that hadn't happened, it would have been different. And I can understand that, but equally, you've got to look at, as I say, the decisions Mikel Arteta and or Arsenal have made. We don't know who's made the decision not to get the forwards in, but that is biting. I don't think that makes us some window a shambles, by the way, but I can understand the comments around that. But it was inexcusable to not get that forward in for him. And then there's the decisions he makes less around team selection. We've been asking for him to rotate more, and he has done that. And I think that's how the best teams do it. But certainly around the way we attack, tactically set up, and ultimately their decisions he can control. And they're two of the sort of 3 or 4 reasons that we are not looking in good shape at the moment to win anything this season. And for that reason, he can't have any complaints if he goes. I personally am not calling for it, but I'm not going to cry if he doesn't. I think if he does lose his job, it's really important Arsenal get it right. And don't just appoint anybody, they get somebody. But I don't think that's going to be a decision for tonight. I think it will be a decision come the end of the season. And it's a real low point, and it's blow after blow for Arsenal at the moment. And it's really difficult to find a way back at the moment for this side. And it's going to need a little bit more work in the summer. I don't think a lot. I really don't. But it's another big opportunity blown. It's another third round exit. And his FA Cup run since he won it 5 years ago, or 5 years ago this year, has not been anywhere near good enough. And it hasn't been domestically in all cup competitions, to be fair. But there we go. Arsenal out on penalties. Pressure grows on Arteta. He needs backing or sacking now. There's no question. My view is back him. And I'm talking here about with whatever money we have. I don't think it's going to be 150 million for Isak, that sort of thing. But 50, 60 million. Do you know what? Pay 50 million for Mbermo or something like that. Something needs to happen to lift the fans, lift the team, and just give him another option. Over to you now, Arsenal. What are you going to do? Back him or sack him? Because doing nothing is not good enough. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Have a good evening if you can. I'm going back to bed because I am not well. And I will speak to you soon. Bye.